Hey guys, I'm going to share something, an experience that's happening to me while doing a blast. Granted, I'm not doing a large amount of steroids, but I'm doing testosterone around 250 milligrams a week and nandrolone at around 200. So it's still something, but the experience that I'm having is I'm actually losing lots of weight, especially fat, while taking steroids. And normally when I blast, I tend to bloat up a little bit, which is natural, especially when you take large amount of testosterone and it converts to estrogen and you don't manage your estrogen well. You can bloat up a little bit more, and there's some compounds that just naturally kind of bloat you a little bit. But at the same time, you do put on muscle tissue and things. So generally in the past, I've actually put on weight when I've been blasting. But twice it's happened now where I've actually lost a considerable amount of weight while not even really, this time at least, not really changing my diet so much. So I'm going to give you my explanation of why I believe that is actually happening and how it actually can happen. Sometimes I want to start by saying that sometimes people say that before you even start steroids, like you should really cut down like your body fat percentage before you even start, which I agree with in a lot of ways, but I don't think it's completely necessary. In fact, that the opposite can happen, which I'm explaining now, is that you can actually lose weight when you're taking steroids. So, and that's actually utilizing the compound. So my explanation of why that's happening is when you take some compounds, especially in the right ratio and the right dosage, you can actually, your body actually partitions your food intake, your nutrient, and it's called nutrient partitioning, which means it allocates all of the calories and proteins and carbohydrates, your caloric intake, it prioritizes that towards building muscle as opposed to putting it into a fat storage. Okay, so instead of putting on, like normally bloating up like you normally would with the food you're eating, it actually gets put towards where it's supposed to, especially when you are utilizing it, going to the gym to rebuild and build tissue, muscle tissue, not being put into fat storage. So that's I think one of the major thing that's happening with this steroid stack. Even though that nandrolone is typically known for kind of bloating up and for a mass building steroid properties, but again, granted, I'm not doing that much of it. So at the dosage I'm doing, it actually could have the opposite effect, which is it's because it's very anabolic. It's a very anabolic compound, so it's actually putting everything that's normally would be put into fat storage into muscle building, actually into physique, your muscle mass, musculoskeletal system, which is happening because at the same time I am putting on muscle as well. Granted, my strength isn't what it normally is when I am blasting, and I just believe that's partly due to the fact that I am also not eating in a major caloric surplus. So I'm eating kind of just as a maintenance level, but then taking steroids. So the maintenance level calories I'm taking is all being utilized for more muscle building. Okay, I don't want to beat that like dead horse too much, but I think that's the major important part about that. Okay. Second is that I'm not bloating out too much, which I was suggesting before, because the compounds in the dosage I'm doing isn't being converted into water weight like would if I was doing a much larger amount, a much larger volume of oils and such. So it's not actually bloating me out to the same extent, which would be a considerable amount, at least, of the weight that would be you'd put on when you're doing a blast cycle. So that's pretty much the major two factors that I want to relay. But in a way, it actually works out better, I think, to keep things to a minimal sometimes. Although it all depends what your goals are, but you're going to feel better Like I don't even feel really like I'm on any steroids right now. Maybe a little bit at the gym, like I'm getting a few extra reps in and such, but it's not like it's very pronounced. But yet I'm looking myself in the mirror and I got a great physique still, right? And with that, feeling good because you're not bloating out too much, and your body's not under a lot of stress, a lot of inflammation and such. It's also burning fat, so I'm actually losing good weight, or like losing bad weight, so losing weight in a good way, if that makes sense, which makes you feel better too. So there's actually, the old saying, less is more, I think actually works out in some regards. But again, just depending what your goals are. At the same time, I do want to take levels up a notch, especially with the nandrolone. I'm just going to push the nandrolone dose a little bit higher, the NPP dose, whilst keeping my testosterone dose, I think, at the same, just because I don't want that high estrogen conversion, right? But then maintaining a high level of anabolic load, higher anabolic load anyway. So that's my goal with all of this. But if it's something like you want to keep your physique on point, but put on a little bit of strength, yeah, like it's not just to keep it simple, stupid. It's a saying, KISS. Keep it simple. That's all you really need to do, is just like a really basic stack of test and nandrolone. People would do primobolan and things, and that works too, but primobolan isn't as potent, so you'll have to take more of it, and it's more expensive, and it just doesn't have that strength building properties that nandrolone has. And nandrolone really fills you out, like your muscles out, a lot more too. So like you get a lot more 3D, which is desirable, right? So just a simple test nandrolone stack at like 200 nandrolone, it does the trick. It does. And a lot of people these days are gravitating towards EQ, which is, I think, good if you run your tests a little higher, because it has that anti-estrogenic properties. But I really wouldn't mess with EQ too much unless you're getting your blood work done a lot, just because it affects a lot of people differently, and you might end up crushing your EQ, or you're going to have undesirable results. But if you are running higher test, EQ might be another option as well. So that's it. But like I said, like I think everything's just like partitioning the food towards building muscle more. And I think like I feel a lot more hungry than I normally do, but I'm still eating like proper meals, but I'm not eating like super excessive. So I think like that hunger is my body signifying that I am utilizing all of like everything, right? I'm kind of like burning everything a lot faster. So it's like craving more, if that makes sense. And because it's craving more, that means it's kind of like acting, I think, like I'm on a caloric deficit when I'm really not. That's the last point I wanted to get across to you guys. But other than that, I'm eating really clean, and I think that's one of the main reasons as well, that I'm just eating like, eggs and fruit and a little bit of carbs, like a little toast in the morning and such, but not excessive amount of carbs. No junk food or anything like that. At night, I'm eating like chicken, potatoes, chicken rice, chicken, maybe a little pasta, things like that, or fish, So it's and not excessive, not like huge plates. I just like portion it properly, good portion sizes as well. So that's what I contribute, what I should think that that's adding to me actually losing weight as well at the same time. So, but like I said, normally when I blast, I put on like 10-20 pounds at least in like 2 or 3 months. Now it's the opposite. And that happened once before as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Leave in the comments section what your thoughts are on this video, and thank you for watching. Peace.